Hey everyone, when I talk to my clients and they say AI, most of the time they refer to ChatGPT. But did you know that there are more than 100 different models like ChatGPT alone on Hugging Face chatbot arena? Each model is unique, has its specifics, and is good at certain tasks. This is mainly based on the model's training data, which is obviously different. What if you could harness the power of multiple AI brains at once to get the best possible answer to any question? In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to boost your AI-powered workflows by submitting a single prompt, not to one, but 5 of the leading large language models, automatically refining their responses to give you the most accurate, well-rounded outcome possible. And trust me, you'll want to see how results change from the first zero-shot attempt to revised and rewritten outcome by multiple LLMs. In a nutshell, we have a zero-shot prompt that we submit to 5 different models, then we aggregate those responses into ChatGPT to evaluate which one is the best one, then we post it to Slack, then we post the winning response to ChatGPT and say, hey, improve the response please. It provides recommendation and we submit those recommendations back to the model that provided the winning response so that it improves it further. And then the final result is provided in the Slack channel. And the reason I chose those 5 models is because when I go to large language model chatbot arena on Hugging Face, we can see there more than 100 different models, right? And if we look at the top 15 models, it's ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, GPT, Claude, Grok, Gemini, Meta, GPT, Mistral, Ethan, which is Meta's model, GPT-4, Claude, Meta, GPT-4. So essentially, top 15 models are from the companies OpenAI, Meta, xAI, former Twitter, Mistral, Anthropic, Google. So those are like 6 companies that own top 15 large language model places. And we will be testing 5 out of 6 of these models. We don't have here xAI or Twitter, just because I'm based in Europe and I can't access that model at the moment. So I'll be using just 5 other models. Right, let's take a deeper look here. So when we go to our Slack, it's very simple. I've got a specific channel created, which I'll call prompt. And this is where I'm gonna submit my single prompt. And then we have it to submit to each and every model. In the first, I will use Gemini, then it will be Mistral. Basically, it's very simple. I would go as a user and I will submit the same prompt to each and every model as a user. So it's absolutely the same. And for this model, I will use Sonnet. So once this is done, I will use GPT, another GPT assistant, to aggregate all the responses and pick the best one. So the instructions are the following. Your job is to evaluate the responses. Your task is being unbiased and evaluate the output of each LLM. So what is more important and what I wanted to show here is I ask it to provide the output in the JSON format. For this, I needed to prompt specifically that I want the JSON object to return back, and I need to specify what are the variable names. So the problem I encountered before, because there was an update in make.com, and now you can actually use response format, and you can choose either you want to do text or you want to do JSON object. And if you do JSON object, you can parse the responses. That way, it eliminates you from creating different models or parse JSON models afterwards, and you can literally with just one module produce the results, turn them to variables, and use later on in your scenario, which is pretty neat. But the problem I encountered is that if you do not specify the variable names, it will create the variable names itself. And each and every scenario, when you run it, it will create new variable names and they may not match. So for the variable names to be consistent, you have to specify how you want to call them. And I will do this with simple prompting. I will say model A, model B, model C, model D, model E. So for each model, we'll provide a specific variable. Then we have winning model, and we need to name whichever model just one. So it's going to be either from A to E. And then we have winning response. And winning response is basically the output of the winning model, right? And it will understand that. And then here I provide a separate message. So those will be 5 user message, and each user message is different model. So model A is going to be Claude, model B is going to be ChatGPT, model D is going to be Perplexity, or we would go with LlaMa, and model E is going to be Gemini. By the way, it is important to show here that we use LlaMa 3.5 large model. And here with Perplexity, you can choose different models. In that case, those all are LlaMa models. The smaller one, middle one, and the big one, 3.5. And then there is 7TB and 8B models. And there is also Mistral model. This is the old model. They actually depreciate those models, so they might not include them in the future. And I think for the search purposes, they are not using them already. But here you can still choose the Mistral 8.7B models. However, I'm using actually Mistral large model. So that's another latest model that they released recently. And here at Mistral, you can choose all the different models that they have. They also have the Mistral model, which is the model specifically for coding. I don't need this for this particular example, but here many options that you can choose from. So once we have evaluated the response, we're gonna post this to Slack channel, and I have created a different Slack channel for that. There will be Slack channel with the name output, and I will call this not redacted. And the reason I'm doing this, because later on I want to show you how different our response is from the first kind of zero shot after the revision with the GPT assistant. So then we go with another revision expert that's gonna revise what happened before and what are the results of the winning model, and it will act as a critic and it provides some recommendations, suggestions for improvement, etc. So the idea here is the following. Here's the context. You will be provided with a user input, output. Your job is to review the response. Your task is being unbiased. For the response, provide only suggestions and recommendations. And basically what happens here, I have the user input. So I want to provide it specifically. Hey, this is what they were asked for, and this is what they answered. And please tell how to improve, because I want it to be as close as possible to the requested outcome that the user wants, right? So that's why I prompted in the following way. I don't need JSON object here. I need just recommendation, and they can go as text, because what I'm gonna be doing next, I'll be using this text as another prompt for my large language model to improve on the initial result. So what happens next is basically here we have defined the model that won the first round. Either it's LlaMa or Claude or OpenAI, whatever. It's going to be either model A, B, C, or D. So whichever model has won this, flow is going to go through this kind of node. So in case if Claude model actually won the first round, so Claude is going to receive another prompt. And basically what happens here is I submitted the whole conversation that we have had before. So I started with the user prompt, and then assistant provided the response. And then what I do is I provide as a user suggestions from my ChatGPT. So in essence, I put two large language models head to head. So the one is going to be doing the response, the other going to be revising, and the third one is going to be answering on the revision, right? They kind of communicate one to each other. And this is how you can create simple agent systems. You would be putting those two models head to head, providing the responses to each, and see what they come up with, right? And that way we can improve our response. So here are our suggestions. And the structure for this is very similar for each and every block. For example, for LlaMa model, I would use a system prompt. You must provide the output based on the recommendations. And the next is going to provide the zero shot prompt that I was doing in the very beginning. And then we have the response from the Perplexity, and then we have suggestions from ChatGPT. The same goes to Gemini, Mistral, and OpenAI. Each and every model is going to the same. And finally, I'm going to output this whole result into my Slack channel. And let's tag it as redacted content so that we can compare what was the initial outcome and what was the outcome after the revision. All right, let's actually see how that worked. So let's run it once. And in my case, I provided a prompt to draft a proposal for a potential client outlining the benefits of using AI automation to streamline their customer service operation. So, and if we take a look here, the Slack message took the right message, which was the last one. And then we can see that Gemini already provided an answer. Let's take a look how that worked. So we've got the executive summary, we've got the challenge, there's solution, AI powered customer service automation, etc., etc. I'm too lazy to read this, so let AI do the work, and let me come back in a minute or so time when the process is finished to see what are the results. All right, so the process has finished, and let's actually see what results did we get there. Let's go to our Outlook, and our Slack, and I have output channel created for this purpose specifically. Okay, so let's see. So we've got redacted, and then we have not redacted content. So the not redacted content, actually, we can see that LlaMa model has won the battle, and it looks the following. We've got executive summary, delivering exceptional customer service is crucial. We've got introductions, then we have 6 points, benefits it can bring, and then we have implementation plan, cost savings. So which is good. It also shows what are the benefits for the client in terms of the numbers. It says cost savings, efficiency gains, and revenue growth, and in conclusion. Okay, so this is not redacted content that was on first try submitted by Perplexity. And if we look at the redacted content, let's see how it has improved. So in today's competitive landscape, delivering exceptional customer service is pivotal. We've got the introduction. Your company name specializes in leveraging cutting-edge AI technology, which is a little bit more personal, which is good. Then we have industry-specific challenges and opportunities. So now it starts to speak not generally about whatever other industry. It speaks about industry-specific knowledge, your niche problem, etc., which is really good because it niches down and it provides more detail. It at least tries to provide more detail to the client, not just to the general knowledge or common sense. So for instance, in the banking sector, managing high volumes of customer inquiries with maintaining compliance with the regulatory requirements is crucial. To provide some sort of example. Again, if we would given more information about the industry, we could specify, all right, what was the example of, a similar company in the similar industry. In our case, we didn't have that example, so we just chose banking, for example. Again, we have customized solution, enhanced compliance, customer base and needs. So it provides a little bit more detail since an estimated 75% of customers use multiple channels, which is good. It also provides some sort of statistics. Again, interestingly, where does the statistics come from? But at least it is more specific than using some general words like AI can seamlessly integrate with various communication channels. So instead, it says, hey, there is a problem, or there is a way customers tend to use multiple channels, and that's why we need to have multiple support. The next one, case study, Asian banks transformation. A fast-growing bank in Asia face increasing complaints, slow resolution times, and rising costs. And by integrating, so a very cool stuff. It provides a proof of concept, and here it provided a case study. Of course, you need to go and check that if that case study exists. Since this is Perplexity and it kind of browses the internet, I assume it should exist, but still, it's really cool because in the proposal, it provides you with proof of concept that is already on the market. So if you don't have an example of your particular company, you can use a case study from the market. Unity is AI deployment, another platform that does deployment of the AI customer service agents. And actually it says, hey, 8,000 tickets saving 1.3 million. Concrete numbers for a specific client, which provide a hard proof of concept for any customer, right? This is the hard business case. Cost breakdown, it provides you with the inserts for numbers, and it's really good because it makes it really clear for a client. Instead of going with, hey, there are cost savings, efficiency gains, and blah, 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 it says, hey, this is how much it costs, and you have to break it down, not the model itself. And it specifies strictly, hey, it's gonna cost that much. So it was definitely lacking in the first proposal. Implementation timeline, nobody told how much time would it take for us to integrate the solution. So here it is. This is really important in any offer, right? I'm lost a little bit. So we got cost breakdown, implementation timeline. Then we have the project split. We've got pilot program, full scale deployment, testing and optimization, detailed implementation plan. We've got potential challenges and strategies to overcome, technical hurdles, compliance and security. So it kind of provides the detail on all of these, including like GDPR, General Data Protection Regular in Europe. conduct regular audits, response times, customer satisfaction, cost savings, follow-up plan, scheduling a follow-up meeting with a 2 weeks or proposal submission to discuss your feedback, make any necessary adjustments, which is, again, this is a crucial and very good point. Visual elements. So it says, hey, if you got any visual elements, please attach call to action and contact information. So this proposal is much more in-depth and includes detailed information, specification for a client business. It got business cases, it got detailed plan outlined, it got all the things like GDPR considered and many, many other things. It got also the cost to be included, the timeline, the plan, like almost everything. Like even some of the offers that I create, I don't go into that much of a detail, but here I think it's really good and it's much better than the first one. And if we look at our scenario, we can see all the models created some sort of answers. And here we can actually see what was the different model responses. So model A provides a detailed proposal with clear structure, specific expected outcomes, but less distinct personalization. Model B, formal approach, detailed breakdown of benefits, but some sections may be assumed too much, right? And this is the kind of feedback on each model. It says the winning model is model D, and in my case, model D probably was LlaMa model in that case. Yeah, that's true. And then it goes further. And here, our GPT says, hey, tailor the proposal, use real-world examples, detail cost and implementation timeline, expand on the implementation plan, highlight potential challenges. So those all detailed suggestions were incorporated. Think about if you were the one that would do 0 shot to 5 models, then you're going to revise them and you would say, okay, this one is the best. And then you will need to give feedback and remember all those things. I think it's going to be almost impossible. Remember all those things at once, right? Visual elements, call to action, follow-up plan, metrics for success, compliance and security concerns. Because as GPT, like by definition, remembers all of them, it can provide quite detailed instructions for the next module, for the large language model, to revise the given response and, improve it in a further iteration. That's how it works. I think it's pretty cool. And if you at any point want to test whichever model gives the better results, this automation can be a game changer, can also provide a better outcome. You can go with the more advanced prompting, right? So in my case, I was using 0 shot prompts, so very simple, no examples, no specifics. If you're working on something strategic, think about creating a strategic plan, a business plan, or any other significant important business task, you might not rely on just one particular model, and you want to do an offer and test 5 different models and even improve on the results of the best model. So that way you would get much better output that you can later on use for your business. And when it's crucial to do so, because you will need some time to invest in this in order to create the system once, but then again to use it, because in my case, the usage of the model took me about 60 seconds to run or so. So in that case, you're not getting instant response as you would get from ChatGPT, for example, but you get much more deeper and qualitative content because you choose the best model and you improve the best response. So to quickly recap, by leveraging multiple large language models in a single workflow, you're not just getting one AI's response, you're comparing the best of the best and refining it automatically for the most accurate and insightful results. This approach saves you time, enhances decision making, and ensures that you always get the highest quality outcome. If this video helped you understand how to improve your workflows with AI, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more automations and AI tips that can take your projects to the next level. Thanks for watching, keep exploring, keep innovating, and let AI be your work buddy.